Hello, it is Monday, Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully, everybody had a fantastic weekend, and I'm excited about today's topic. We are going to, now I'm going to do this differently. I'm not going to sit up and just read the website to you, but I am going to reference the Lilly website. Now, I'm going to specifically be talking about Zepbound, but I realize that we have people on Compound, Manjaro, tirzepatide, Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide. So I don't know all of the data for the semaglutide side, but just know with Zepbound that also pertains to tirzepatide and Manjaro, minus the dosing, because I do believe that the dosing for compound is a lot different. So I am going to actually start off by jumping into the comments. Right. So here, we'll start at the top. I wanted you guys to know that I do have, if you see in there, there's an accompanying worksheet to go along with today. So just to make it easier. So let me scroll on down here. We've got some hellos. I love it. Everybody's doing well. How you doing, Butterfly? So even though I put it in the chat, I want to say hello to Dee Dee, who beat everybody in here today. I see that Darian became a member, so I want to thank Darian for that. And welcome, welcome. I'll do a little applause. We got our little community is growing. How you doing, Jerlene? Just want to make sure I get everybody's name. Drell, hello. We got Mindy, and then again Butterfly, Norma. All right, we got Mel B in the house. And thanks again, Darian. Thanks for becoming a member. All right. We got Dee Dee in the house. She was actually here a couple of hours ago. She's pulling a me. All right. So I think, okay, we have Teresa. How you doing, Teresa? From Tucson. All right. All right. We got Nicole in the house. Shelly. Okay. So I think, we've got Tangi. Hey, Tangi. Linda Lou. McCoy, you Linda? Oh, actually, you say Linda Lou Graham. Well, nice to have you here. Age 68. All right. All right. Got Felicia in the house. Okay. So choose joy. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, what we're going to talk about today, I look, we're all in different spaces, and I feel like there's a lot of confusion on not confusion. There's a lot of people saying a lot of different things about how to take the meds, and I want you to hear it from the source. I think it's very important. Now, I understand that there's a certain way that Lilly has the dosing schedule. I am not telling you to not listen to your doctor. So I want to start off with that. I'm not telling anybody to deviate from what their medical providers are saying. But from all of the questions that I see regularly, whether it's in groups or other people's, comments, it seems like there's a lot of confusion. So I don't know if maybe people's providers aren't really explaining it, or if you're just kind of overwhelmed because you see so much stuff everywhere. So I just feel like we're going to go to the source, we're going to get the information, and then we can do some chatting about it. Before we get to that, I want to start off with, you guys know I love interactions, right? I want to know, where are you in your Zepbound? And then, of course, I put GLP-1 in parentheses because I don't want to leave anybody out. So you just have to put the number. You don't have to type out the word. So one, you're considering it. Two, you just started. Three, a few weeks in. Four, on it for months. Or five, maintenance. And I guess I could have selected on it longer than, months, maybe over a year, because there are people that have been on over a year and they're not necessarily in maintenance. So for that, just pick number 4. Let me see. Mel. Yep. Sometimes they don't. And, a lot of us started, well, I haven't seen anyone that was actually prescribed Zepbound that started prior to February of 2024. So that is when like everyone that I've come across, they started and I'm talking about brand name. I know there are people that were on tirzepatide earlier, but Zepbound, I hadn't seen that prior to February. So it was basically new. And I know that we had Manjaro, but Zepbound was new, was new. All right. So I see that we've got it going. A lot of people. Okay. So we've had some people on it for a while. Oh, and we have some considering. Okay. Hopefully, so my goal, you guys can keep filling that in. Let me go over here. My goal for today is by the time we finish this live stream, I want you to feel better than you feel right now. So if you're feeling like confused or, nervous, I hope that by the time we get to the end, that's my goal for you not to feel that way, or at least better than what you're feeling right now in this moment. So let me go back over. All right. So, okay. It seems like a majority have been on it for months and over. All right. So this will be just a refresher for some of you. All right. Let me just jump on over to the Lilly website. Okay. Now, I have notes so that I'm not reading and driving you guys crazy. So let's go through the notes. So I'm on module 1. So if you did get the worksheet, follow along there, okay? What is Zepbound? It is a dual hormone, which is GLP-1 and GIP, right? And they work together to reduce appetite, slow digestion, Zepbound is approved for obesity, overweight, plus chronic conditions, and it's also approved for obstructive sleep apnea, which is something that I had prior to starting. And then what people have noticed, what the studies show, is that up to 21% of weight loss on 15 milligrams. But that doesn't mean that everybody's going to get up to 15 milligrams. For example, I started off at 2.5, took that for 4 weeks, and then I was titrated up. Now I'm going to show you, and I want to stress this. I know that there are people who have been on 2.5 and stayed on it and done fine. But I want to show you what Lilly says, okay? The Lilly website says that 2.5 is a starter dose and not meant for maintenance. So even though we know that it's being prescribed that way, I want you to know that Lilly, according to Lilly, 2.5 milligrams is not a maintenance dose. They consider the maintenance doses 5, 10, and 15. Okay? So let's see. I'm going to go down to that. So I'm going to scroll. I didn't set this up to where I could highlight things, so bear with me. All right. What do I want to go to first? Let's see. Somebody should have her glasses on. As a matter of fact, let's do that. Excuse the glare. Let me clean them. I'm going to put these on because I want to be able to see. All right. And then the light is shining, so that's not helping. My goodness. You would think that this is the first time I did a live stream, huh? All right. I don't want to go over all of the reactions. I want to get into how to take. Okay. Let's pull this closer. All right. So everybody knows that whether you're on Zepbound or Manjaro, the boxes come with instructions in them. Okay. So the first thing that Lily says is how to take, right? Read the instructions for use that come with Zepbound. You want to use it exactly as your healthcare provider says. So again, I'm going to go over their recommendations, but always defer to your doctor. Okay. Use Zepbound with a reduced calorie diet and increase physical activity. So that is something that a lot of us talk about frequently. You got to move your body. Okay. No one's saying that you have to be like Mindy and compete in a triathlon, but you got to move your body. And it says reduce calorie. It does not say don't eat for a few days and then catch up. It says nothing like that. And I know that your doctors aren't telling you to do that. If you have people out there telling you that information, I need you to know that that's wrong. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a medical professional, but I can assure you that is not the way to go. This medication is there as a tool to help us, okay? A lot of us, and I'll speak personally, I dealt with a binge eating disorder, and that goes back to when I was a kid. I just didn't have weight issues. So for me, turning off the food noise and these obsessive thoughts about food, that is one way the medication has helped me. But I still know that I need to eat, and I'm able to eat. So we have to differentiate, right? Just because you don't have the desire, that doesn't mean that you can't or shouldn't eat. Now, if you get a little bit in and you're just like, I can't push myself, you're going to have to figure out a way to supplement then. And I'm not someone that pushes supplements. I don't take any other than creatine, but I'm saying as far as protein, maybe a meal replacement, you've got to get nutrition in. And some of the common side effects that people are experiencing are because you're not eating, you're not staying hydrated, you know? And if you've had side effects and you are doing those things, then I'm not speaking directly to you. I am speaking to the people that know. They know they're not eating enough. They know they're not getting enough water in. Okay? I say this frequently and it's never in a way to be condescending, but we are adults. We don't have to like water. We need to drink it because it's good for us. It keeps things flowing. If you're not staying on your hydration, you're not eating properly, everything else is not going to go the way that it's supposed to go. And we got to get away from like trying to hurry up and lose weight super quickly. That's not the way to go. This is an opportunity. This medication is life changing, and it's only going to change your life if you change your behaviors. Okay. So I want to go over to dosing. Give me a moment. All right. Let's go to the Lilly website and we'll go to dosing. Whoa, that's not the Lilly website. And let's unmute this. Hold on. Why did it do that? All right. Okay, we're not muted. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go down to dosing. All right. How to use Zepbound. Here we go. Now there are videos on this website. And I recommend everyone go over there, right? You don't have to do it in this moment, but I want you to know exactly where to go um, so that you're not heavily relying on secondhand information, okay? So we're here. They're going to have a video that tells you how to use it. Now, look, let's look at the injection site, okay? We see the stomach area, we see the upper thighs, and the arms. I'm sure if you haven't done it before, I'm gonna go grab a pen so that I can show you. So I'm gonna leave that up and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a pen. Okay, so let's go back here. So we know that these are what the pens look like, right? This is not, there we go, 2.5. So I want you to see that there's a cap on here, right? When they come, they will come, and let me get my eyes out of it, the locked position. And you see this is used, that's why it's unlocked. You're gonna take the cap off, you apply it to the area. Now, I've done my stomach this entire time. I don't get into what site has the best weight loss. Don't focus on that, okay? Find a spot that's convenient for you, that you're comfortable doing. and just, alternate. You can try all of them. I didn't want to because I'm comfortable with the stomach. So you will then unlock it and then press the pen, and you'll hear a series of 2 clicks. The first click is letting you know that the medication is going in. The second click you hear, you'll know it's done. And you'll see this, let's see, this plunger, this gray plunger. That's how you know that it's done. I've only felt it twice out of all the weeks. Let me see, we're at week 63. I've only felt it twice and it was just a tiny pinch. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of times that you may not feel it. So listen out for the clicks. And then once you hear that second click, wait a few seconds and then pull it away. And I have seen quite a bit how people have moved it too soon and basically they wasted their medication. So that's why I'm explaining that. Um, Let me see. Let me check out the comments to make sure I'm not getting too behind. See, we got some hellos. Hey, Ubs, how you doing? Hey, Sheila, Sunshine, Roslyn, Sandra, Angie. All right, I think I'm caught up. Okay. All right. So I'm caught up on the comments. I Sunshine, I saw your question. Yes, I keep mine in the fridge. I don't take it out until I'm ready to use it. And that's just how I've done it. Now I know there are people who talk about the stinging and they leave it room temperature. According to the Lilly website, it's okay for it to be room temperature up to, let's go to the source. I want to tell you how many days. All right, so we got that. Let me scroll down. Here we go. So, how to store Zepbound? Good question. Good question, Sunshine. Store the pen in its original carton to protect it from light. Keep the pen in the refrigerator at 36 degrees to 46 degrees Fahrenheit. You may also store Zepbound at room temperature. Now it's up to 86 degrees, okay? For up to 21 days. Now, if it's sat out for a while, it says on here, do not return the pen to the refrigerator after removing it. Um, so if you took it out and you just left it out, I am gathering from this is my interpretation, just leave it out. So if you're traveling and stuff like that, it's okay. Yeah, if we can keep it in a cooler, that's nice, but don't stress out about it because it can stay as long as it's below 86 degrees, it's okay for up to 21 days. All right. It says if the pen hasn't been used within the 21 days after removing it from the refrigerator, discard it. So you just want to throw it away. Do not freeze it. Do not freeze the pen. If it has been frozen, throw it away and use a new one. And it says the pen has glass parts, so handle it carefully. If you drop it on a hard surface, discard it and use a new one. So Lily's acting like this medication's a couple of dollars, right? We're just going to be throwing pens away. And you want to keep it out of the reach of children. So I've seen people that are concerned with like what to do with it. So if you don't have a sharps container, which is recommended, then you can use a detergent bottle. I have been storing everything in the box, but I'm not throwing it away like that. When I let go of this stockpiling these empty pens, then I will more than likely put them in the sharps containers that I have because I do have that. So that's how you dispose of it. And just remember, don't just throw it in the trash, okay? Just make sure you put it in something, again, either a detergent or some type of plastic, that heavy duty plastic. Put it in that. Now, we're going to go into dosing real quick, okay? Find the dose that's right for you. So we have multiple options. I wonder if I can zoom in on this. I cannot. All right. Zepbound dosing is increased gradually over time. The starting dose is 2.5 milligrams. After 4 weeks, your doctor will increase the dose to 5 milligrams. Now, pay attention to this part because I think this is the part that I think maybe people find confusing. Okay? I'm zooming in because I want you to pay attention to this part. After 4 weeks, your doctor will increase the dose to 5 milligrams. After after at least another 4 weeks, your dose will increase by 2.5 milligram increments until you find the dose that is right for you. Okay. So it says down here, I don't know if you guys can see it, 2.5 milligrams is not intended for maintenance use. And then it says the maximum dose is 15. So again, if your doctor has you on a different program, do what your doctor says. But if we're going by what Lily says, and Lily's the one that conducted the studies, I would go with what Lily says. If your doctor hasn't told you something differently, okay? I'm looking down real quick. Jen, you said you're gonna still use it. Hey, Jen. Let me do some catching up. Nia, Miss Mona, how you doing? Yes, I'm glad to have you here. Jennifer. All right. Hey, Tia. Vanessa, I think I'm caught up. All right. So the reason I'm saying this is because I have seen people say there's nothing that says you have to go up every 4 weeks. There's nothing that says that. The website didn't say if you don't lose weight this week, go up next week. It doesn't say that. It says at least 4 weeks. So they want you to be on the medication for 4 weeks before you move up. That doesn't mean that you have to move up every 4 weeks. There is nowhere that it says that. There's nowhere that it says that. I know doctors were prescribing it that way, but that is not coming from Lilly. So if someone else's doctor tells them that, let them do that. You go by what your doctor tells you, and you have the Eli Lilly, or it's Lilly now. I don't know why I keep saying that. You have the Lilly site to defer to. And I know I seem a little elevated. It's just, I know how hard it is when you first start something and there's just so much different information out there. And there are a lot of content creators. And I'm going to tell you, we don't know everything. And I don't know of any other content creators that are medical doctors. So, and even if they were, they're not your doctor. So we can just show you and tell you our experiences. But if something doesn't sound right, then take it with a grain of salt and keep moving on. But the dosing, I need you guys to understand that just because you haven't lost weight, that does not inherently mean you need to go up. Okay. And I know I've kind of stayed here a little bit, but I see it so much and I know it's a struggle. Okay. If you can't eat right now on your current dose, if you cannot eat and you haven't lost weight, it doesn't matter. You don't need to go up. If you go up, that's not going to make you hungry. That's not going to make it easier for you to eat. So if you can't bring yourself to do it now, don't go up. Don't go up. This is not a magic shot. You can't just take it, keep the same habits, and lose a bunch of weight and live happily ever after. It doesn't happen. And the people that are successful coming off without gaining any weight back, that number is a lot smaller than the people who come off of it and gain all the weight back and then some. Okay? So that's that. As far as throwing the containers in the trash, that's a good question, Joy. I'm going to look that up. I know that I could take it to the VA and they can discard it there, but I'm not aware and I don't know if you can throw it in the trash, and I haven't thrown any away yet. So I don't want to give you bad information, but I will look that up. I will look that up. And maybe somebody else on here can can answer for that. Okay, so let me pop on over here. We got Mel with the super chat. Thank you, Mel. All right. And we'll just do one of these too. Okay. Lilly's trials prioritized high doses for max weight loss to get FDA approval. They didn't test long term outcomes of low doses because the trials were designed to show peak effectiveness, not minimum effective dosing. Thank you, Mel. Thank you. Um, Again, this is all new. Like these medications have been around for diabetes, but this is a whole different ball game. Obesity and weight loss, that's a different ball game. So they had a lot of people in the studies that were obese or morbidly obese, and everybody that's on this medication doesn't have to have that requirement. And as a matter of fact, let's go to that. Actually, before we do that, let me go over some notes, okay, that I made. So, how to use it properly, and that'll be in module 2. The dosing is 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, and 15 milligrams. Of course, the pens are pre filled, easy to use. The vials, it would be manual, and you would use it with a syringe. If you miss a dose and it's less than 4 days to your next one, or from when you were supposed to take it as soon as possible. If it's more than 4 days, then just wait till your next dose. Okay. Never inject within 72 hours of the previous dose. So I know we have people that are crafty and they're doing microdosing and doing whatever they want to do. I think it would be difficult to do with the pins, but I imagine if you're on a vial, just take the medication the way you're supposed to. Just take it once a week. Unless your doctor has specifically told you not to, take your medication once a week, same day. The time of day does not matter. What's important is how it affects you. So if you notice that when you take the medication, you get extremely tired, low energy, you have side effects, then you want to plan a day that you would be able to rest. So if that's the weekend for you, then take it on the weekend. You know what I mean? If you don't have any of those things, like I have not had any side effects, so it doesn't matter what day I take it. I haven't had the fatigue or anything like that so far. And I say so far because we never know. Anything can happen. I'm just telling you what my journey has been so far for this 63 weeks. Okay? Um and again, another thing to remember, store in the fridge. And then if you take it out, 21 days. So remember that. Okay? Now, let's go into side effects, okay, and safety. That's module 3. Some common side effects, like the most common, nausea, constipation, and fatigue. And some red flags where you want to reach out to your doctor, that would be any kind of severe pain, vision, or mood changes. Okay. And if you are someone who has had thyroid tumors or a family history of that, and something called MEN2, if you don't know what it is, you probably don't have it. Like me, I don't have it. Then that's something that your doctor would probably already be aware of, and you don't want to be on it. Okay. Now, as far as the vision changes, that is really important in diabetics. Now, other people can have that too, but I remember seeing on here that if you have visual changes, and just let's just say this, report everything to your doctor, even if you think it's small. We don't want to take any chances. We don't want to rely on what other people are online saying, right? I see people asking some questions that should absolutely go to their doctor. If you take it and you break out in a rash, the internet is not the place where you need to be. You need to be calling your doctor. You know what I mean? If you can't eat and you've had extreme diarrhea and you're vomiting and you're not able to keep anything down, you need to be going to the hospital. And I'm not trying to be like, oh God, the sky's falling. You got to go to the hospital, not the internet. Okay. We've got to, the internet is great. There's lots of great information, but this is serious. This is our lives that we're talking about here. Okay. So that's it about that. Um, what makes it work better? Okay. Movement. You want to get 150 minutes a week. Break that up however you break it up. I wouldn't suggest trying to do that all in one day, but you know what I mean? You want to make sure you're moving your body. I'm walking every day for 30 minutes a day. I built up to that. I was not doing that in the beginning. I did start off with strength training, and that is something that I really enjoy. And even though I feel like we should all do it to some degree, if you are brand new and it's absolutely something you don't want to do, don't do it. Okay. Find something else. We have yoga. There's lots of things that you can do. You're moving your body. You want to get your heart rate up. Okay. I said in yesterday's video, and I was being serious, we can, like, I could just stand here and be moving. I wouldn't do that. But do you know what I mean? Like, you can just be standing and walking in place, put on a movie. You can do some side steps. Like there are lots of cool content creators making videos where you're just it's light, you know. There's so many different there's a plethora of content out there for free, okay? You don't have to pay for somebody's program. Now, if you want to and you want that extra guidance, then by all means go for it. If you are not sure with how to do the movements and you want to go in and see a personal trainer just to get that down, do that. But you don't have to do that. That is not a requirement. Paying somebody to do these things are not going to make you do it. If you're anything like me, I've spent thousands and didn't stick with things. So, you know, just kind of start where you are and don't feel like, okay, all these people are doing this, so I have to do it. Nope. You got to do what works for you. That's what's important. Okay? Um I want to get into the cost, right? Cuz I know that that is a big issue. Let me see. Close that out. That's a big issue for people. So I'm going to that. Where do I want to go? Consumers, and we're going to go to savings and coverage. Okay. So for those that qualify for the savings card, you know, that's $25 a month. Okay. Self pay, which is available through Lilly Direct, for the 2.5 milligram vial, it's $349 a month. And then for the 5, 7.5, and 10, they have that. It's $499 a month. Now, I'm going to go here because I want you guys to see something that's important. There's no insurance needed or accepted for the self pay option. Your doctor would just send that over to Lilly. They would send it directly to Lilly Direct. They would be able to do that in their pharmacy system. So the doses that are available in the single dose vial are 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. All right. And then you can see here again, Lily says 2.5 milligrams is the starting dose and not approved as a maintenance dose. So if some of you have insurance that won't cover the point fives, now you see why. Okay, there it seems like they're considering that a bridge. Now, it doesn't say that on the website. I'm giving you my interpretation, but that's why I also want you to go to the website so you can see it too. And then if you have some detailed questions, have that with you when you go meet with your doctor. If you're doing telehealth, have it with you. You know, you want to have as much information as possible so that you guys can come up with something and you can be proactive in your care. Let me go back over here. Um, all right. So the requirement to get the better pricing with Lilly so that you can do the 499 a month instead of the 599 for the 7.5 or the 699 for the 10, as long as you're refilling it within 75 days. Now, if you're taking your medication the way that you're supposed to, once a week, there should be no problem refilling it within 45 days. And I've seen people that were upset about that, and I'm not getting it. You're supposed to those that are on the weekly, right? If you're taking it weekly, that's less than 45 days. So if by filling it like you're supposed to and taking it like you're supposed to gives you the better price, then do that. Now I recognize 499 is not affordable for everybody, and I understand. Um, I look at it I spent a lot of money, wasted, I should say, on fast food on a regular basis. If I were to go and add that up, I'm quite sure that I was spending over $500 a month on junk and fast food. Now, that's my case. Again, I know everybody's different, everybody's finances and their budget are different, but your health needs to be priority one, you know? And sometimes we got to make some sacrifices. We got to make some sacrifices. Now, I'm not discouraging anyone from compound. I don't know enough about it to have a good conversation. I just know that I'm on the branded name. And if for some reason my insurance drops the coverage, which I know a lot of insurance companies are doing, I'm going to go the vial route. That's the way that I'm going to go. So, and I feel comfortable. So I have to do what I feel comfortable with and so do you. So if you're comfortable with the compound and that's working for you, then do that. But if not, I want you to know that there's other options. And $499 is a lot cheaper than 1,200, $1,300. And actually, my medication, I wonder if I did a screenshot. When my provider sent over my latest prescription, it automatically, when it goes to Walgreens, it automatically goes into filling it. And it was saying that I was too early. I wanted to see if I could show you how much it was. I just remember it being, here we go. I want to show you because I believe in showing, right? Ooh, let me get my eyes out of it. I don't know if you can see the price. Let me zoom in there. That's what it would be for me. $1,304.09. I would go the 499 route. Okay. So I feel like I've covered everything that I think is super important as far as with the website, and you know where to go. Now I'm going to go into questions, and I want you that any questions from now until till we get off, put a Q in front of it so I can easily see, cuz a lot of times, there's conversations going on, and I want to make sure that I'm addressing everybody that has a question. Okay? So let's go back to the comments. All right. Oh, here we go. Took second week 5 milligrams on my left thigh, suggested area. Let's see, total 10W on Z. 3 days later, I got a rash near the injection site in the same area on the right leg. Okay. Okay. Full of grays. I'm glad that you put that you're awaiting advice from your doctor. I haven't experienced that. Is there anybody else in the chat that has experienced having that? Because Full of Grays is waiting for direction from her doctor. So, if someone else has experienced that, please, um, let her know. All right. Shonda, you just missed me going through some notes I had from the Eli Lilly website on the proper way to take the medication, the dosing, and I spent a little bit of time stressing the importance of eating and making sure that you're staying hydrated. Super important. Okay. We appreciate your thank you. Thank you. I just, it's important for me. Okay. It's important for me for you guys to know that I'm in my serious mode right now because this is important and I see these questions frequently. So that's why I wanted to spend tonight talking about that again. Now, we don't have to stay there, but I want you to know that all the information that's out there is not good information. Okay. And if I say something and somebody checks it and it's not correct, please, I am not, you know, what is it, above or beyond reproach? Like, tell me because I don't want to be giving out bad information. So I try to stay in my own lane. But this is important. This is so important. And you want this to be successful, right? Especially if you've done this over and over and over again. Let this be the last time. Let this be the last time. We're going to get it this time because we have the help that deals with up here. And a lot of it is up here. A lot of this stuff, a lot of us have an emotional attachment to food. We used it as a source of comfort, right? So if you've experienced that and that is how you got through the world, that's how you got through your day, and now that's taken away, you could feel a little bit empty. So that's why we got to lean into other stuff and focus on other things. Okay? That's all. And it's coming from I've gone through it. I've gone through it. And even though I didn't struggle my whole life, this last one third, I've been experiencing that. So, and I didn't do things the right way. Even a couple of years ago on Wegovy, I didn't do it the right way. I leaned into not having an appetite. I didn't do any research. The provider told me about it. I was going through Parkview Weight Management here in Fort Wayne, and I just took the shot. Now she told me to make sure that I was strength training, and I did not do that. She told me to make sure I'm prioritizing protein. I did not do that. All I cared about at that time was, I'm gonna get this shot and I'm gonna lose weight, because I heard about Ozempic and I knew basically that was the same medication. So my expectation was I was just going to take a shot and I was about to be, in shape. And that's just not the way. And that is why when I came off of it, I gained a bunch of weight back. So it definitely fat gain and water. I'm learning now from that dose change that I had about a month ago, how I dealt with inflammation and water retention. I know that the 30 pounds in a month and a half, that wasn't 30 pounds of fat. I never said that. But on the scale, it was up by 30 pounds in a month and a half. So we got to do stuff differently. Okay, so let me go through. I'm looking to see for any more comments. Okay. My doctor mentioned thyroid cancer and pancreatic cancer is something to watch out for. Also, she said I have to stay on Zepbound even if I change my eating habits. Sheila, I agree. I am going to be on this medication for the rest of my life, right? I so about a month ago, I'm not sure if you're aware, but about a month ago, I was titrated down to 2.5 because my telehealth provider that I was using at the time suggested it. Now I can't tell you why, but like I've told everyone, there was a part of me that wondered, well, I've got the lifestyle changes down. I'm eating a balance, whole food, plant based, um, minimally processed foods, definitely no ultra processed foods. I'm moving my body on a regular basis. I drink a gallon of water a day, so I was certain that it should be okay. And I had some stress, so I know that that can play a part. But in 11 days, I gained 13.8 pounds. So that tells me that it's not just the habits, like the habits are helpful, but it's doing more for me than just the mental stuff, the turning off the food noise, the appetite suppression. It's obviously working on a different level. And I think that, don't feel bad about it. If you gotta be on it for the rest of your life, that's okay, you know? I know that we're not diabetic, but we have conditions, obesity, they're recognizing it as this thing. So, if it's a chronic condition, then it makes sense that we would have to be on this medication for life. Okay, just like a diabetic, when they get their A1C stabilized, they're gonna stay on that medication. Now, I don't know a lot about diabetes, so I don't wanna misspeak, but for anyone else in here that is diabetic and they're on insulin or something like that, is that how it works? When you get your A1C down, do you come off of it, or do they modify the dose and you maintain? So that's a good question. But yeah, Sheila, I'm happy to be on it. I had my little test there. It did not go how I expected. And I'm just going to be on 5. And I'm just going to take it once a week because it works for me and I'm still able to eat and I don't have any side effects. So if I was on the 5 and I couldn't eat and I was still losing a lot of weight, then I would have to work with my doctor to figure something else out. But just plan on being on it, you know. Let's see. Information overload. Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole. I'm not, I'm not trying to overload you. Let's see. Let me go to comments. Okay. I think the key people keep forgetting is at least 4 weeks. Absolutely. Meaning you have to be on it for 4 weeks. Nothing says go up or go back down. That part is up to how you're doing and side effects and stuff. Exactly. Exactly. There is nothing that I have read that says you have to go up every Cerberus? Sorry, guys. No, nope, nobody. Come over here. Oh, they're playing outside. Just leave them alone. That's all right. Okay. So I haven't seen anything either that says that. I know that there were doctors doing that, and I think they were doing maybe the best with the information that they had. But according to Lily, that's not what it says. It doesn't say anything like that um, at all. Oh, your pharmacy didn't know? Okay. Ah, here we go. Vanessa, discarding sharps, contact your local garbage provider. Rules will vary. Okay. So thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Hey, Leland, how you doing? Let's see. Sunshine. Yes, yes, they are looking at it like a disease, right? It's not just a willpower thing. Yeah. Okay, we got some hellos. Let's see. That you and the doc can discuss about moving up or staying. I'm sorry, people was coming for you in the Chris and Lorraine chat. I'm okay with it. I have thick skin and I just, you know, I I understand that people want the medication to be cheaper, but sitting around and complaining on online and just every day about how it's what it costs in China, we don't live in China. So other than writing your congressman or doing something, sitting online and complaining is not getting anything accomplished. It's not. And something I wanted to share really quickly before I move on. So I started off on using telehealth. I started using a telehealth service and it was Plush Care, and that was last year in February. Recently, this past week, I met with my regular doctor, my non-VA doctor, and I see her annually. And I showed her, I had proof of how I've been eating, all of my workouts, because you guys know that's on Instagram. And I was able to show her that. And I asked her, would she take over handling my prescription, managing my prescription for me? And she said yes. And that was after seeing the blood work. I mean, I've lost 57 pounds. And I know there are people that need to lose more. This is not a competition, okay? We all have to do what's best for our bodies. And for me, 57 pounds heavier, that wasn't that wasn't good for my body. Okay? Um so yeah, that if you had a doctor maybe last year, for those of you that have been on it for a while and maybe your doctor wasn't on board, go back and show them like, hey, this is what's been going on so far. Some of them may be afraid to prescribe it. I know my provider told me that there are people who refuse to make lifestyle changes and they're not successful on the medication. And normally she doesn't prescribe those kind of meds. She'll put in a referral to Parkview Weight Management, which is where I went in the past. That's how I got on the Wegovy. I'm in maintenance. They don't wanna see me over there. I tried to get an appointment because it's called weight management, not just Parkview weight loss, and because of my current state, I'm not, they don't wanna see me, which is fine. It's leaving room for the people who really need that help, but talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctors about it, especially if you've been on it and you're making progress, because they're going to notice when they do your blood work that your results are getting better. My cholesterol is in an excellent range. These are things that I didn't have before. Even my thyroid levels are optimal. Well, in that optimal range. So I'm no longer having issues with irritable bowels. I have not been suffering with sleep apnea, having those issues at night. I'm not using a CPAP. So I'm waking up and I'm feeling rested. These are things that when I'm looking at the non scale victories, obviously the non scale victories outweigh the scale victories. The scale, that's just one thing. My body fat percentage, my highest on this medication, my highest body fat percentage since 2020 was 39%. So it doesn't matter if you look at my old pictures and you think, "Oh, you looked fine." I was not healthy. I was not healthy. And now I'm in a healthy range and that's what's important to me, which is why I don't harp so much on the weight. Like I know it's important, but it's not the main thing. It's not the main thing. Okay, so let me get back to the comments, guys. Bear with me for all these, interruptions and stuff. Okay, we have Jen says some states allow you to throw them in the trash. You have to mark them biohazard. And you know what? Let me go back to Lily's site because I feel like they had that. Let's go back. Mm, it's on here, so give me a moment. I believe they had that on here when it had the containers. So let me go back to that. No, it doesn't. On the video, though, I feel like this video that I cannot play because of, copyright reasons. There's a video on there where the person goes through and they show you all these things that I'm talking about. And I believe that she had a detergent bottle that had biohazard written on it, if I'm not mistaken. So um, you just want to check with your local, I guess, whoever does your trash to get the guidelines for that. Okay. Comments. Let's go back down. All right, I'm scrolling through. Now I'm down where, let's see, Sunshine is doing 30 minutes on her walking pad daily. That's really good. That's really good. I'm scrolling down. All right. Leland says he loves the strength training. He hates the treadmill. That's okay. That's okay. I would say that the strength training is really good. It's really good. Sheila says if you don't do any exercise or strength training, you will lose muscle, right? I that I can't answer you. I don't know if because you won't do it, you'll lose muscle. I know that even if you weren't on these meds, when you go into a caloric deficit, you're not only gonna lose fat, you're gonna lose some muscle. Like that's a normal thing with a weight loss, especially depending on how much your deficit is. But by strength training and making sure you're eating enough, you're gonna you'll preserve more. So instead of losing like 14 pounds of muscle, like I did in the beginning, you won't lose that much. So if you're somebody and you've been losing, this is another one that's important. If you have been losing at a rate that you feel is slow, that's okay. That's okay. You're probably not losing a whole bunch of muscle. I I think it's so important if you're on here and you haven't started yet and you could get a DEXA scan or in-body scan or something that tells you the amount of muscle and body fat you have, that's key because then you'll know how you're doing, right? I didn't have one right when I started. I had one a month before. So I had one in January, started in February, and then by the end of March, and that 18.8 pounds of weight loss that I had in that first 4 weeks, a bunch of it was muscle. I lost 4 pounds of fat, and the rest was muscle. Now, I could say inflammation, but I'm using DEXA scans. So from January to March, I should say that's what I lost in that time. So people, if the scale is moving steady, be happy with that. And if it's coming off like the weight that you lose in the beginning, a lot of that is water weight, right? In that first 2 weeks, I can assure you, you're not losing 8 pounds of muscle. I mean, 8 pounds of fat. It's just not happening. So we're getting like bent out of shape about a pound or two here and there when water, right, guys? That 11 days, 13.8 pounds, that wasn't muscle or fat. So I want you the reason I keep talking about that is because I need you to understand that that 1 or 2 pounds and being, oh, I only lost a half a pound. Okay, well, if you're not gaining, maybe hold on to that. I don't know about you, but I was steady gaining. I just continued to gain before I started. So it was a change for me. And if I can't say I would have done it differently. I had to do it the way that I did it. And that's what led me to tracking. So tracking, we're not tracking anymore as a way of being restrictive because the medication makes it a little bit easier not to overeat. Now, if you just want to do it, you can push yourself to it and be able to and feel miserable. Some people eat a whole bunch and you know, they've got to get to a point where they realize that it's not just the medication. The medication it helps, but it doesn't do everything. It doesn't do everything. And even if you're looking at other people and you're like, man, their journey is going great. Look, this person just keeps losing weight. You don't know what they're doing when the cameras are off. right? You don't know what I'm doing with when the cameras are off. I take a picture of everything I eat. That food and exercise log, that's for me, but I'm sharing it, right? Like I'm happily sharing it. But everybody's not doing that and they don't have to. It's not a requirement. But what I'm saying is you don't know what people are doing when the camera's off. You know, a lot of times social media is the highlight reel. You have people that are content creators for this type of content that don't want to make videos if they're not losing weight. That's part of the process. So just know you're not alone. If you have been on this and you're not losing fast and some weeks are up, some are down, you're not the only one and that is just a part of the process. Okay? It's okay, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. So, as far as the strength training, I think that it's important. And again, we don't have to be doing bodybuilder type weights. You can do some light weights. You can do body weight. You can do push-ups, squats, those kinds of things. And there are lots of videos on YouTube and other sources that are for different levels, right? We've got some for seniors, you've got silver sneaker stuff, all the way down to the young people. So you find there's something that you should be able to find something that is going to work for you, but you want to move your body. Yes, I'm always going to preach strength training, but if you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. And that's okay. Do something. Okay. So let's see, go back to the comments. Okay, sunshine. Oh, yes. Utilize that $25 card. For sure. Now, I saw somebody say, Miss Mona, that's great news. So I feel like I missed something. Um, so I don't know how many y'all see, but I see 247 comments. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not sure what uh the great news for Miss Mona, but I'm gonna congratulate you, even though I don't know, I'm not sure what it is. Um, okay, so Sunshine says you will lose muscle if you don't strength train. Okay. Now, again, I started strength training, let's see. I started taking Zepbound February 21st, 2024. I started strength training on March 4th. So we'll say I was 2 weeks into it before I started. Um, yeah. And I wasn't obviously from the beginning strength training, and I definitely wasn't doing it before being on the medication. So, and I did lose a lot, and I wasn't eating enough. So, and I didn't realize I wasn't eating enough until I saw those results. So, yeah, yeah, Norma, it's up there, and I think it's higher because I feel like it was 1,200 before. How you doing, Mimi? Hey, Paul. Always carry your questions. Yes, yes, because if you're like me, you will forget. You will forget. So let's see. We got some more hellos. My doctor was saying that she was working with Medicaid to continue to assist and change the BMI expectations. That would be great because I feel like it's not this it's not a one size fits all. Everybody's bodies are different, you know? I am so when I put on weight, it's normally if you saw those if you've seen those pictures and video, this was me all in this section, right? And maybe the upper thighs. But I don't have, wide hips. I don't have, I'm not a curvy girl by any means. I've never been. Just kind of straight up and down. So I have more of an apple shape, which is actually more unhealthy than those of you that do have hips and stuff. It's safer there than having a bunch of fat in your in this region. So it's like android and gynoid. So this is the gynoid area. And then this is the android region, and that is where I carried a lot of fat. So, and that's very unhealthy, the visceral fat. Okay. What about CVS not carrying Zepbound anymore? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, someone. I don't think it's CVS not carrying it. I think CVS Caremark, which is a PBM, they're not um offering that. So I believe that their formulary is going to be Wegovy. And something I realized maybe a month ago, I'm on TRICARE. So I'm a disabled vet and I have TRICARE and I'll have that for the rest of my life. Now, when I started on it, I do believe that Wegovy was a formulary, but you could get on Zepbound. So I was able to. Now I had sent the prior authorization maybe a month ago to someone. And then when I looked at the updated one, if you haven't been on Zepbound, it says no, not approved. So I don't think that TRICARE is even offering it now to new patients. I think that you may have to go to Wegovy route unless your doctor, again, that's what prior authorizations are for and they can appeal things, but from what I saw, they're not allowing you to just get on Zepbound unless you've been on it already. Okay. Let me see. We got OBS here. As a TBI, I tend to forget everything. So now I carry a little notebook with me everywhere. Yeah, that's important. And I have these. And it's so funny because when I did my update video yesterday, I saw when I was at week 4, like I had my notes for the video that I did. And it was that I lost 18.8 pounds. And it was just, writing down no side effects and little notes. So I had forgotten about that. Hey, Jazzy, how you doing? Let's see. All right, so Shelly's gonna have her notes with her appointment or for her doctor's appointment. That's good. That's good. We gotta advocate for ourselves, and our doctors, they're not just seeing us. We're not their only patients. So our stuff has to be super important to us and we have to have our stuff together, right? We can't expect them to have everything dialed in for every patient. Now, there's some doctors that are snazzy, but we're not the only patients that they have. Let's see. He said the price is insane. Yeah. Love your channel, but let me say this. Most people aren't blowing $500 a month on junk food, etc. The price for most Americans is simply too high. Can't wait to meet you on the cruise. You know, and that's why I went ahead and also said that everybody is different. But those people who are eating out, if you're eating out every day, and there are people who eat fast food, whether it's McDonald's or whatever. I do know people that eat that way every day. Maybe not most people, and maybe not the average person, but there are people that are doing that. And if you add all of that up, if you're someone who, when you go get gas, you're running in and you're getting a bunch of junk food or whatever, that stuff adds up. But you're right. You're right. That's probably not average. But I'm glad that I'm not doing that anymore. I'm glad that I'm not doing that anymore. And I can't wait to meet you either. I think it's going to be fun. All right, let's see. Did Lily Direct show pre-filled pens for sale as no. No, I didn't see the quick pens. It didn't seem like those were the $499 price. No, that was just the vials. And then look, let's go back over to it real quick. Let's go back to it. All right, let me go to that particular one. Saving is that where I was? Savings and coverage. Yeah, that's just the vials. Yeah. So unfortunately, they're not they're not coming down on the pen price right now. Okay. So as far as when does fatigue go away, was anyone able to answer that? I have not experienced that, Linda. I haven't, or Linda Lou. I have not experienced any fatigue or any of the side effects. No nausea, constipation, none of that stuff. Okay, so Mindy had already answered it. Okay. Oh, pen folks and good folks. Okay, cool. Mindy did answer that. So let's see. For me, it did, but everybody. Yes, they are different. They are different. And some things to think about. If you're someone that's feeling fatigue, because they have it as a common side effect. So we know that it's something that a lot of people experience, but you want to make sure you're eating enough. Make sure you're staying hydrated, make sure you're eating enough. Um, and then if you're home, if you're not at work, and let's say you're home and you're tired, take a nap. If you can, like if your schedule allows for you to be able to do that, it's okay to take naps. Now I was a napper even before being on this medication. There are some times where you're just tired or maybe you didn't sleep well the night before. Speaking of sleep, I have great news. Finally, the combination of estradiol and I'm on point 1 and the testosterone, guys, all this week or no, for the last 5 days, I have not woken up completely drenched in sweat. I haven't gotten up to pee through the middle of the night a bunch of times. So, I think that I'm at a point where the levels are finally doing something for me. Now, I started estrogen, for those of you that are not aware, back in January. I had a hysterectomy in 2016, so I didn't have, you know, a menstrual cycle to be like, oh, well, I haven't had this for this amount of time. I don't have that. All I have are ovaries and everything else is gone. So it was my symptoms. They did lab work. And even though there's a normal range, you thinking about all the different bodies, right? Fitting into this range. Maybe once upon a time your levels were here, but who would know that if you're not just having that checked? So they go based off of your symptoms. And based off of my symptoms, I was able to start hormone replacement therapy, and that's going well for me. That's going well for me. Just a quick update. I'm sleeping great. Let's see. We have an extreme connection to food. Yes. Yeah. Same. Same. And it wasn't necessarily like I know some people eat more when they're feeling upset or sad. Nope. It's Tuesday. Like there was no particular reason. I just always thought about food and I enjoyed it, a little too much. I would think it's safe to say that it was an addiction, right? Because it wasn't a healthy relationship at all. And it just didn't ever seem to be enough, even though I would get to a point where I was in pain. Uh oh. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Let's see. I got that one. Let me go. Thank you, Jerlene. Aw, shucks. Here we go. We got this and this. Thank you. And that's in a weird space, isn't it? Yeah. These are good when we have things set up right. Okay. Thank you very much for the super chat, Jerlene. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, thank you. Oh, shucks. Look at you guys. Thank you, Nicole. All right. This says, no, no, not info overload from you. I was agreeing. Oh, okay. And not having the ability. Yes. Yes. So, and this is not like, again, I don't think that I am above anybody else. I think we're all different, but I do know there's a lot of people with some bad information out there. And it's hard enough kind of filtering through this, you know? A lot of us it it's a learning experience, and if you're not getting a lot of guidance from your doctor, I understand how it can be, enticing because you guys maybe think that we know all this stuff, and I'll be the first to tell you, if I don't know something or I'm not comfortable or not sure, it doesn't make me feel bad to tell you that because I'm not an expert. What I am an expert in is what works for my body, okay? So, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate I appreciate it. Let's see, let me go back to comments. All right, here we go. Paul says, that's one thing I had to do when I was prescribed it. I didn't have any guidance. Everything I had to learn was on my own. And that's why I'm glad I came across your channel. It taught me to learn. Thank you. Thank you. And what I'm going to do is post those links for you guys just so you can have it for yourself. So I'll do a community tab post after the stream. And I know you can Google it, but I will post those links for you so that you can have them. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's because of you guys. Thank you so much. And I want you to know I really appreciate it. And I never anticipated that. So I'm just glad that you're finding the content helpful. At the end of the day, again, if I could just help one person, then all of this is worth it to me. Choose joy. Enjoyed your live as well as your channel in general. Sorry, have to go to dinner. Okay, enjoy your dinner. I have pancreatic cancer and my cancer doctor. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I hope that, man, I'm sorry, I just wasn't expecting that. Choose joy. Okay. Well, I'm glad that your doctor's working on it and I hope that they're able to treat that for you. Um, let's see. Okay, sorry. As a diabetic, okay. Oh, okay. Yes, we can come off the meds. If my A1C gets too low, I will be off the meds. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So then I can't use that. I can't use that as an example then. So disregard. Disregard my previous statement. That's why I'm glad I asked. And this is another reason why it's good for me to stay in my lane. Unfortunately, I'm one of the unlucky ones whose insurance through CVS Caremark. They won't cover Zepbound, only Wegovy. I am worried, even though okay. So about the Wegovy, I lost weight on it. I did not do the things that I was supposed to do. I am sure there are a lot of people who are successful on Wegovy and Ozempic. So I know tirzepatide has two, agonists. That medication also works, and there have been plenty of people that have been successful on it. So, if they approve that, go that route. Go that route. Now, if you get on it and you have some sort of reaction, then I'm sure that your doctor would be able to I want to say I'm sure. Maybe your doctor would be able to submit what is it? Something about formulary. Submit something, right? So there are certain medications that they wanted you to try before you even get on a GLP-1. And some of those things I'm not able to take for different reasons. So that's why I was able to go ahead and not take those and go straight to Zepbound. Plus I had done Wegovy in the past. Now, even though I was the problem, I said I tried it before and I didn't have to do it. So Zepbound, that's how I got on Zepbound. So if your insurance covers Wegovy, get on Wegovy, you know? Who knows a year from now what's going to be out and maybe you'll have different options if that doesn't work for you. But Ozempic's been around a long time and that's all Wegovy is. A different brand name for Ozempic. Same medication. So, oops. Let's close that out. Let's go back over here to the comments. And oh, Chrissy, I drank on it, which you're not supposed to do. I was not focusing on hydration. I was drinking energy drinks and I was experiencing, I didn't know that these were symptoms of like low blood sugar where I was feeling lightheaded, dizzy, kind of out of it, disoriented. So I was not taking care of my body on it. Um, Hopefully there's someone else. I think we have like maybe a small amount of people on it that usually come to these. And maybe it'll be more. And then you'll be able to share your experience, Chrissy, and help somebody else. Speaking of side effects, how's everyone dealt with constipation if you've experienced it? I took my second injection last Monday and experienced it over the last few days. Leland, are you getting a good amount of fiber in? Cuz I get between 55 and 60 grams of fiber a day. But that's just the way that I eat. I eat a whole food, plant based diet. So it's very easy to do that. That and drinking a lot of water. You want to make sure that you're getting adequate hydration in, and that helps keep things moving. Now, there are people, I'm sure they're going to put it in the chat for you that are taking different things, mag something. There's Senna gummies. Uh, Whenever I have in my life in my life, the last several years, issues with that, or if my daughters have issues, those Senna gummies get them going. So that's an option. But I would say to see if your doctor has a recommendation because sometimes they'll prescribe a stool softener along with something like Miralax to kind of keep you going. So, like, was it Colace is to soften it, and then Miralax is to get things moving. And that's something your doctor can prescribe. I know it's over the counter, but they can also prescribe that. Okay, Deb. Hey, Deb. We take our sharps to the health department. They have a disposal unit in the lobby. Ah, in Las Vegas. Good old Vegas. Oh, you know what? Let's pause real quick. We're going to let me let me here we go. Let me go back and we're going to go here and I'm going to bring up let's do where everybody's joining from tonight. Okay. So, all you have to do is put where you are. Now, I'll say this because I always say it. I cannot see where you are. I have no way of tracking you. If you're not comfortable with putting where you are, that's okay. You don't have to put your address or anything. Yeah. So we've got this little map here, and I just would like for you to put where you're joining from tonight. While you do that, I'm going to go through the comments. Let's see. Jerlene, I am always extremely cold. Jerlene, that is something that I have also experienced, but that was something that was a problem for me even before the medication. So I don't consider it a side effect, but I'm not sure. You know, that's something that I've experienced. And it's been several years where I feel like I'm running colder than everyone else. Okay, let me go. Oh, look at that. This is one of my favorite parts. Shonda says, I feel the same way. I feel for them, but the constant complaining, it's not getting things done. I'm on the same page as you. Oh, no, that's okay. Thank you, Shonda. Thank you. Sometimes having that reassurance, feels good. I just, wasn't trying to be dismissive of their feelings. It's just, okay, we get it. We get it. It's expensive. Um, you know, and because it's expensive and you can't afford it and you want to get compound, that doesn't mean that there's a shortage. And they only keep you guys keep filling that out. Keep putting where you're at and then I'm going to bring the map back up. For example, for Walgreens, my prescription can get sent over. That doesn't mean I'm going to get it that day. Doesn't mean there's a shortage. They keep a certain amount in, right? I've always been able to get it the next day. Now, if you're somewhere and it's weeks and weeks, that's different. Then obviously you are experiencing a shortage. But the refrigerators in Walgreens and places like that, they're not these huge industrial size refrigerators with hundreds and hundreds of boxes of medication. They're getting them in and they're going out just as quickly because there are a lot of us that are on these meds. So reporting a shortage because of something like that, that's not a shortage. That's not indicative of a shortage. What we had last year where people were going weeks without being able to get access to their meds because they were just not available, that's a shortage. Okay. Them being able to saying, okay, we'll order it and we'll have it in tomorrow, or even if it's 2 days, that's not a shortage. That's just it not being in stock, which isn't the same thing. All right, let's go back to the map. Hey, Darium, and welcome. Thank you for joining the membership. Oh, we have a question. Okay, Pam says, I've been taking Zepbound for 10 weeks and I notice that I am cold all the time now. Yes, yes. I was cold before it and I'm still cold. Okay, so Dee Dee's cold too. Um, oh, wow, look at this. I'm coming back to the map. I'm coming back. Jen says, I wish they'd stop comparing compound to brand. It's apples and oranges. They cannot cost the same. That's how I feel. I feel like if compound medication is $200, and I don't know what it is. I think I hear people talk about mochi and maybe it's 199 or something. I've seen other people say they're paying more than that. But do you expect the brand name to be the same price as the compound? Now, I don't want it to be 1200. I don't want to pay 500, but it's I don't know. I don't know. I just can't see how people would expect those to be the same. Now, yeah, we want them to be cheaper, and you can say all day that if Lilly sells it for this price, compounds will just come in lower. You know, they could drop it down to $200. If compound comes in at 50, you guys that are on compound will probably still continue with the compound at a cheaper price, right? Because then it'll be like, well, this company can do it for 50, so why should I pay 200? You know, my daughter is on a medication called Dupixent, which is like 40 something thousand a year. And her insurance company just dropped the coverage for it. So it's not just in the GLP-1 space. I don't know what Dupixent costs in other countries because it doesn't matter to me because I live in the United States. So what they pay has no, it just seems like that's more of a reason to get yourself upset because we can't control that. Us. Now we could all come together and maybe start doing some petitions and again writing our congressmen, but like outside of that, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, you know? Being cold is an okay, so I was already cold, so maybe maybe that's why I didn't notice like a big difference. Okay. But it does seem to be a thing. So who knows? It could have been me or it could be the medication. So many of us on these meds who are always cold. We have invested in blankets, throws, heating pads. Yup. And a space heater. I know I'm driving my husband crazy because I have to keep the room baking. All right. PMP. Oh, yeah. So that is one side effect that seems to be common. Now, it's not something that Lilly has listed, but obviously they don't have everything listed there because if we're going by the chat, a lot of people experience that. So, yeah. I would rather be cold than big and miserable though. I'm feeling you. I'm there. I'm there. I was miserable before. Yeah, see, and we pulled out the space heater um because I'm cold. All right. So Sheila says BMI according to the DEXA scan is 33. Okay. So at least you have a point. Now, do you have a goal that you want to be, Sheila? Like what's your goal BMI if you have that? My goal was a 22% body fat and it was more about the body fat percentage for me than the actual number on the scale. So, oh, oh yes, thank you, Dee Dee. How did I forget? Here we go. Like, okay, let's see. Thank you. What do you think about this going gray situation? People getting so desperate that they're risking their lives for it. I couldn't do it. I don't know what that is. What's going gray? At first I thought you were talking about my hair. I'm like, yeah, I am going gray. No, I don't know what that means. Um, yeah, so if somebody could tell me what that means. What's going gray? If you're saying it's desperate, then it sounds like it's something bad. Darium, that's what I do. When I go into chats, I like on entry. Or I'll forget. Okay, so you're gonna check with your trash collector. All right, I'm gonna do some more scrolling. Okay, continuation from the last comment. I don't want to put something in my body that says not to be Oh, that's what that. Oh no, I'm a no for that then. Okay, yeah, I I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I do understand that people get desperate. I would have to say that I've had some desperate times in my life when I was, getting HCG and those other, things that you can get from those weight loss places, so I have been in that situation, before, and even though I was going through a medical clinic, I mean, it or no. No, they're not like hospitals. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like those, there's a name for them. I don't remember, like, there's a term for those places where they do that. They're giving you these injectables, and of course, everything has to be mixed with B12 and this and that. Had reached a place in my life where I wasn't doing that anymore. Now, I'm not judging anyone that's doing it. I'm just telling you that that's not something that I would do, and I wouldn't recommend it. If it says not for human consumption, then don't do it. That's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. Oh, goodness. In Florida? You're freezing in Florida? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so you're getting your new heater? Yeah. Okay, Mary says she's on 10 milligrams and she woke up so hungry with fatigue. It's really confusing. Okay, are you new to 10 milligrams, Mary? Are you going through like an adjustment period? And then when do you do your injections? Woke up hungry with fatigue. Yeah, that is confusing because I haven't yet experienced that. So maybe if there's someone else in the chat that has experienced that, you can help Mary out with some tips. It is a process. Have I eaten enough? That is a good question. Have you eaten enough? Because if we're not eating, we're not going to have energy. If we're not eating, what's going to be moving around, right? We've got to eat. We've got to make sure we're hydrated. And if you're someone that is not, if you're not a big water drinker, then start small, right? Maybe start with 8 ounces. Maybe the next week you move up to 16 ounces a day, right? Do it gradually. Don't go from 0 to a gallon. Like that's going to be difficult. You're going to be miserable, and that's too much. You want to work up to it, especially if you're not someone who's historically been someone who, is staying on top of your hydration. You want to build up to that because there is definitely a such thing as drinking too much water. I replaced all the stuff that I was drinking before with water. So it wasn't this huge adjustment for me because I was probably getting a gallon of fluid in a day. It just wasn't water. All right. What? Are you saying that people lie or admit that? I'm far back, huh? you know, that's all right though. I'm not judging anybody. How did you get a DEXA scan? Okay, so we have I live in Indiana and we have some place it's called it's it so we have a hospital system here. It's a major hospital system. It's called Parkview. And they've got um different buildings, right, all over the city, or actually probably through the state. But there's something called Parkview Sport One, and that's where people are going for physical therapy. It's like a ortho express. So like when I broke my toe, I was able to go in there and get an X-ray. But they offer DEXA scans, and here they only charge $25, which I'm not seeing it for that price anywhere else. So I feel very lucky, blessed, fortunate, however you want to say it. I know that that's a case. And I didn't have to get a referral. Now, there's a DEXA scan where people are getting their bone density check. This is not the same thing. Like they'll give you that information, but this is mainly to see your composition of, body fat and muscle. So that's how I just walk in and yeah, that's that's how I do it here. I know there are some other people who have gotten Groupons and found um Downsizing Diva was saying recently on a live that she just Googled it and found uh, places that were closest to her, and she got set up that way. So you can try the route through your doctor, or if they don't offer that or they have no direction for you, then I'd say just look it up, do a Google search locally. If you have a supplement shop, I know some of the ones here, they offer in-body scans. And that's a scale where you stand on it and you have your arms out and you're holding on to these levers and it has like some like metal contact points. So you're standing on it and you stay still and it'll do the same thing. So, try that. Now, if you have a scale already that does the body fat, then, if you're going to be using the same thing, then you can go based off of that. If you don't have that, like I don't have one of those scales, as much smart home tech I have, I don't have that. And that's just because it's really easy for me to just go get it done. Okay. Miss Mona says food and eating enough has been an issue, so I'm purposely taking in protein. Just ordered my refill while watching this and now picking up my groceries. That's awesome. Just work at it. Just try. And if you're making things that are, I would say, I'm going to say healthy, right? If you can get some healthy stuff in, pick things that you actually like. Sometimes we just eat the same things. I eat a lot of the same things over and over. Um you know? So I'm glad that look, you got all that stuff going on at one time. You're getting your refill and you're picking up your groceries. So I'm hoping that that gets easier for you. And I think for some others that have struggled with that early on, it gets easier. Okay. It's more that some people don't share Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only after they've have a troubleshoot and got to win. No, I understand. And again, that's not that's not coming from a place of judgment. I'm just saying that when somebody is struggling, if you're sharing content and you're struggling, you share that. You share the highs and the lows because our goal, at least my goal, is to make you not feel alone or like you're the only one suffering with something. Now I recognize I haven't had the side effects or any issues, so I don't have that to share. But in this community, other people have experienced that. So if I got to like, do you think I wanted to come up and be like, hey guys, I gained 13.8 pounds? Absolutely not. But it was important to share that because we knew, right? Well, it's not fat or muscle, something else is going on. So I think sharing those experiences, if somebody else experiences that, they don't feel so like, I can't do anything right. They know, okay, I'm not alone with this. Okay, simply Taisha had the same thing happen. I'm just hold the course. I got this. But reach out to your doctor, of course, but hold the course. Hold the course. If you're doing the things that you need to be doing, eating in a way that's good for your body and moving, it goes like this. It's not this linear down process. But yeah, I think that it could be that. But I have heard people say that they didn't lose weight, so that's why they weren't making videos. So I think everyone is different. Everyone is different. Teresa, oh, that's awesome. Nice to have that at your. Oh, I'm at the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's great. Okay, we have a question. Fatigue, too tired to work out. Linda, then I'm going to say to make sure. Do you feel like you're getting enough to eat? Are you tracking that in any way? Making sure that you're getting enough nutrition in, enough protein. That's my first question for you. And then, yeah, if you're too tired to actually work out, we want to get that fatigue handled first. And if it's getting pretty bad, I would reach out to I think you should reach out to your doctor and let them know. Body weight training, it really came in handy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Simply Obs had a TBI from a really bad accident. And yeah, Simply Obs, do you mind sharing how much in the chat that you've lost? I think that's inspiring. Pear shape here, curvy. Yeah. You're one of the lucky ones. We're not supposed to compare ourselves, but I can't not mention that I went most of my life wishing that I was a curvy girl. Oh, the only thing round was my stomach. All right. Oh, thank you, Jerlene. Yes, 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 yes. Thumbs up. Would be nice. Okay, and then Nerd Startups talking to Teresa. Okay. I'm excited to meet you on the cruise too. All right. Yeah, it'll be a good time, Gina. It'll be a good time. I have Aetna and get my scripts through CVS, but Express Scripts, hey, that's mine. Express Scripts is also my PBM. I haven't heard Express Scripts is changing their formulary as of yet. No, so when I look at TRICARE, it's TRICARE that doesn't have on their prior authorization that has like if you haven't been on Zepbound previously, it just says no, not approved. So, but yeah, my PBM is actually or excuse me, Express Scripts. Let's see. I easily crushed over $500 a month okay, during peak binging. Yeah, I think it's important for me to say that. I did get to a point where I was binging a lot. So that's why I was doing all the going out to fast food. Got to a point where I didn't even want to leave the house and I was having things Instacarted here. I would have my daughter run to the store for me. It was pretty bad. So I can relate, Vanessa. And Mindy can too. Oh, okay. Let's see. I've spent well over okay, so there are some other people that can relate. So aren't we happy that we're saving this money or that we're using it on something else, right? We were just eating dollars. Shelly says, I get the fatigue the first day. Let's see. Second. I'm sorry. I still get the fatigue first day of the second day, 33 3 weeks in. Okay. Okay. So that so then do you tailor your shots now to your downtime? Like whenever you I'm not sure if you're working or if you're retired, but um so do you plan your shots around how your life is? I would think that maybe if you take it on a Saturday, that kind of gives you Saturday and Sunday to rest if you're a Monday through Friday worker. Norma Jean said $500 a month. Yep, just think $20 a day for a month. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a lot of waste. I was wasting a lot. Beverly, hey, how you doing, Beverly? Let's see. Okay, here's some help. Sheila says, when I start to combat the nausea, I'll use ginger, and for constipation, smooth move. Okay, so that's the senna. And a bit of advice: do not use two tea bags and steep them for a long time. Just stick with one. And just trust me. Just trust me. Oh. Let's see. Isn't there an alert for the Bahamas? Oh, well, if there is because I think that's one of our spots on the cruise, they'll have to deviate then. Hey, Kim, you been in the bushes. Hey, multitasking. That's all right. Glad to have you here. All right. So we got a lot of hellos. Um, okay. Let's see. Yeah, sending prayers to choose joy for sure. Okay. And then we got some internal talking. Hey, Dr. Bobby. Just got here. All right. Glad to have you here. All right. We got some more hellos. Let's see. 11 pounds in 30 days. Started on 2.5 for 3 weeks. Started 5 on the fourth week. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Go to Shonda here. I would be changing insurance to whoever supports Zepbound. I would hate to be told I have to switch and don't get a choice in it. Yeah. I don't know how easy that is. Like I know that what I have. Hey. Hi. My daughter just got home from work. Um, yeah, I'm thankful that I have that, but I have to tell you guys that I would definitely go the vial route if my insurance didn't cover it. Now, if they dropped Zepbound and went to Wegovy and they were like, "Listen, you could either be on the Wegovy or pay out of pocket," I may attempt it. Um, I don't know. I'm probably at 10%. Just because I've been on this and I really don't wanna change anything if I don't have to. All right. I'm Going through here. Prior authorization and step therapy. Yes, that's what it was called, step therapy. So I think it's like Contrave, some other things that they want you to try before getting the prescription. Hey, Kim. All right, so you had a partial hysterectomy in 2017. Now you only have ovaries. Same. That's it. Everything else is gone. Um, I'll be talking to my GYN this year about HRTs. Thing. Yes, Mel B was, between Dee Dee and Mel, like I feel like I got all bases covered with this HRT. Um, because I didn't even consider perimenopause until that live stream that Dee Dee did. And she also did a follow-up video. So for anyone that doesn't know, Dee Dee is downsizing diva. Beverly says, "What cruise?" Oh, so by the downsized. Are you familiar with the No, no, honey. Okay, guys, let me get through this. I'm sorry. Um Oh, and thank you. Thank you. So the cruise is by the downsize, and I think the website, if you go to downsize.org, you'll be able to see that information. But if you go to their YouTube channel, you'll be able to find information out. But yeah, we're going on a cruise in June. It'll be the last week, and we're going to be going to a couple of nice spots. We'll be gone for a week. I'm looking forward to it. Ready for some warmer weather. And thank you for being here. All right. Oh gosh, I didn't even think about Starbucks Bellflower. Before we bought an espresso machine, and prior to that, my husband and I, we would go buy Starbucks every day. Every day. Two people. So that's a lot of wasted money there too. I mean, you only get so much with the points, right? All right. I'm on. Okay, so she's telling her about the compounded. Okay. Slow and steady, Bobby. Slow and steady, Dr. Bobby. All right, Beverly has the tips for getting things to move. Mago 7, Smooth Move Tea. Yeah, it has senna. And prune juice. Yep, that's another one. That's a good one. And if you warm it up, that's it. Thank you, Beverly. I didn't even think about that. No, sir. Does he want to go outside again? Okay. Oh, calm down. Now it's an emergency. Okay. My goodness, that was dramatic. Let's see. No, and everything you just said is what my PA said, increase water intake and fiber. Okay. Okay. Um, oh, so we're down to the states. Perfect. Let me go back over here. All right. So let me see. I'm scrolling through here, just trying to make sure that Shonda, as far as waiting one day, same. That was the same for me. The higher the dose, the colder one is. Hmm. Okay. I pay out of pocket and never experienced. So Nerd Startup is saying she's never experienced the shortages either. So you get compound in addition, so it helps save money. But yeah, we're definitely saving in the food. And I would man, look at that. Seems like we're really deep over here on the East Coast. And then I'm in the Midwest, and we've got some people over here on the West Coast. Down here in Texas, Arizona, Colorado, if I'm looking at that correctly. Okay. I used to live in San Antonio for a little while. I was stationed there. All right. So you've never experienced that. I challenge you, like, go back and maybe look at a bank statement and just add it up. Add up the amount that you would spend in a month, and you'd be surprised. Like a little bit here and there adds up. It adds up. All right. I'm scrolling down. Compound used to what? $900. They were making a killing because they could. Because they could. There that obesity is definitely big business. Obesity is definitely a big business, a big money making business for these companies. I'm so thankful. 3 months supply. Yeah, because you end up spending a lot less. When we went through that shortage situation, I stopped using Express Scripts and just went through Walgreens because I was able to get it. Um, so since I was able to get it, I just stayed there. I just kept it there and I have it set to auto refill. So outside of my provider sending them over, like she sends it over, I have to see her twice a year now instead of once a year. And she's sending over 6 months at a time. But I'm only feeling it, once a month. Okay. I tend to be cold since these meds yeah. Yeah, you know what? It could be a combination of all of that, right? Losing the weight, um, and I'm not anemic, my iron and everything is good, so it's not that. Like, I have a daughter that, struggles with, uh, an being anemic, and she runs cold. She's cold. Hey, fly to the UK? Hey, listen, I'm down to just take a trip to the UK just because that's one of the places I have not been yet. It's on my list. All right, I'm scrolling down. Beverly, so you okay. That's what my daughter has. She has chronic asthma, but she was taking it for eczema. It gets really bad. It gets really bad. And none of the creams or ointments, none of that stuff worked. Dupixent was the only thing that worked for her. And just when she tried to get her prescription filled this last time, she found out it's not covered anymore. So, yep, twice a month. She's every other week. And yes, that is super expensive without insurance. So that's a blessing. That's a blessing, Beverly, for sure. My endocrinologist wants to hear all about you so she can tell her patients, "Oh, really? Oh, thank you, Jerlene." Mhm. Yeah, that's definitely thank you. That's a huge compliment. Let me see. I prefer being cold. Oh my gosh, yeah. And something else that I have with the well that I was experiencing was cold flashes. So the I don't get like I know there are people who get the hot flashes during the day, they just break out in a sweat. Mine was when I was asleep. So I would always wake up and I sleep, in my birthday suit, okay? Waking up, the covers are drenched, my pillow is drenched. I have to switch things around. So um that and then those cold flashes, they don't usually happen during the day. For me, it was later on in the evening, and just all of a sudden, and this is prior to Zepbound, I would just be freezing and like, oh, it'd be miserable. And my husband would be like, "It's not cold," and he'd touch me like, "Oh my god." So I don't know what's up with my body regulation, but it's getting better. I haven't had one of those in a while. All right, I'm scrolling through because I don't want to hold you guys too long. Gray market, people buy research peptides, which is not for human. Yeah. No. If that's what other people want to do, I'm gonna let them do that. That's not gonna be me going gray. So that's the gray. Look, I learned something today. I didn't know that that's what that meant. Mm-mm. No, my luck, I been mixed it up wrong and no. Weight loss clinics. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's just a med spa. That's what I was looking for, Miss Mona. Thank you. It's a new day. Med spa. I was there and will not go back. Same. Same. That's just more stuff that I wasted money on. All right. So we got some help there. The first 3 days after injection, you didn't eat enough. Okay. Poor bowel habits. I'm learning to be better. And it's a process, right? It's going to take us some time. Don't feel bad because you don't get it. And we're going to have slip ups, right? We don't have to stop there and we don't have to start over. So that again with the daily dose of mindsets, that's what I want you guys to realize. Like this is a process. There's no perfect way to do anything. We are all learning and it's going to take a while to like a lot of these bad habits or poor habits were just natural for us because we had done it for so long. So it's going to take work, like hard work to get out of that. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I was tempted to buy a Snickers bar, but didn't. And what? Hey, that's a win. That's a win, butterfly. That's a win. Let me see. Okay, so Mary's saying she did eat 10 milli. Okay, that was Friday. I ate healthy. I get 88 to 100 ounces of water a day. Good on protein, but I need to eat more. I've been on 10 milligrams for 6 weeks. Okay, so yeah, you've been on it for a while. Um, okay. What? Butterfly, you get it done on a base. I wish I lived by a base. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Um, Man, I do miss being on base, by base, everything military. Military folks, those are my people. Exactly, Kim. Yes, actually, let's that's awesome, because it's very easy to give in. It's easy to give in. What's hard is saying no, and every time you do that, you'll get a little bit more strong. Like it'll get a little easier. Now, I'm not saying you're going to do it twice and then all of a sudden you're cured from that, but it'll get easier. Believe me, it'll get easier. Free 99. I hear you, Darium. Every week, my content is about struggle. Yes, but it's real, It's real, and you're giving tips and you're showing. And I think that, again, no judgment to anyone that doesn't show that, but the fact that you're showing that, we're seeing that. We're seeing it, and we're there with you. And then people can help you out. They can give you tips, or, it just, that's what the community is about. That's what the community is about. Holy smokes, I missed this one. Thank you, Vanessa. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I get more from your channel than from the thousands I spent on therapy. Thank you for all you give each day. Thank you. I'm just glad it's helping. I'm just glad it's helping, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Um let's see. Okay. Your former military spouse. Okay. As my own sponsor. All right. Hey, you take advantage of that. Take advantage. I'm sorry, a little itchy. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm scrolling down some more. Thank you for your service. Yeah, I told you guys I love veterans. I'm scrolling down. So Mary gets it. Okay, so you all yes, I forgot your husband. Um your late husband. That's So you'll be on it. You won't have any issues. Care for life. Like you're already on it, so you're in there. You're in there. Now, if you were just now starting, you wouldn't be able to get on Zepbound. You would have had to go the Wegovy route. Thank you, Miss Mona. Spending your money at hey, that's I mean, we gotta do what we need to do sometimes. Sometimes we gotta make those sacrifices. I feel bad with my stack in the refrigerator and getting another 3 month supply. Uh, you know what? And good answer. We don't give out medications. We don't take other people's meds and we don't give out meds. Now, that's what I'm saying. You are all adults and you're going to do what you want to do, but it's not legal. It's not legal to do that. And don't feel bad. You're stocked up because who knows what's going to happen. If compounding should happen to go away, it's going to be a lot of people rushing to the name brand. So I think that's good, you know? And I wouldn't sell mine either. I wouldn't sell it or give it away. Paul, you can relate. Instacart. It's crazy, right? Yep. So you totally understand. Let's see what we do with I know, right? Good old Darium. Words of wisdom. Monday through Friday. Okay, so you take it Friday night around 5:30. Perfect. And see, That's a perfect example of listening to your body and making the medication work within your schedule. So that's good. I'm trying to remember how much I've lost. Over 300. Quick. Come on, guys. Over 300 pounds. That is that is that is mind-boggling. Um, that's a great job. And Simply Orbs is not on this medication, by the way, guys. She's one of our um community members that's not on the medication. So she's just here, in the supportive role. Okay. Just popping. Hey Carlos, how you doing? Just popping in to say hi. Yes. And we do save we save a lot. um yes, absolutely. Very informative, and I'm thankful for these spaces because I'm learning a lot, and I feel like I'm more in tune with, my body and what's going on. Yeah. All right, let's see. So we Jumac, hopefully you heard about the DEXA scan. I would say do a Google search. Like if you check with your doctor to see if it's something they can refer you out to. If not, you can do a search and hopefully there's something close to you. Cause I feel like 2.0 mommy said the closest one to her was 4 hours away. So I think just checking online and seeing if you have a place that offers that. But I would check with my doctor first to see if they offer that. Because if you can get it done for free or just a copay, that's a lot better. Because I think some people are paying over $100, close to 200 and more to get them done. See, is it soursop? I'm not familiar with that. Soursop bitters has helped me with constipation. I've also heard pear juice and coconut water. Okay, okay. I miss the tick, but in Denver, never ever experienced a shortage in the year I've been on it. Yeah, and then my experience with the shortage was just a day late. I was freaking out and stressed because I kept looking at the Zepbound Reddit, the subreddit, and people that was just what people were talking about constantly. So I started to freak out. Um, yeah. But yeah, I've only been 1 day. So, like, back then, I was taking actually 2 days, sorry. Initially, I started off taking my injections on Wednesdays, then I moved to Saturday, and then I feel like it was after the colonoscopy, I just switched to Sunday, something like that. It's in one of these videos. Let's see. Yeah, that is a blessing. $30 a month? For sure, for sure. Let me see. So sweet of you. Yeah, you definitely make me feel loved, and I appreciate you. Everyone who has been perfect on this journey, put a 1 in the chat. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. There is no perfect. There is no perfect. Hey, Mark, how you doing? No, we love it here. I need this community and your channel. On Facebook, all they do is complain and yes, constantly, constantly. It's definitely not conducive to changing that. It's always how much how fast can you lose the weight? What injection site has the fastest weight loss? Like just constantly. Yeah. So I agree with you, Miss Mona. I just have to take breaks from there. And the relationship, yes, with food. So true. So true. Okay, Kim says, okay, shoot, that's for Jumac. Dexafit. And I think that they may be a franchise, right? So they could be in other places. All right, I'm doing some scrolling down. I just want to get through. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Um, Margie says a fifth week on Manjaro, uh, first week on 5 milligrams. Okay, so you went up after the 4 weeks of 2.5. Yes. Okay, wait a minute. They're achy. Oh, I'm thinking that hopefully it'll get better because I also have some areas with let's see, osteo something. I should know this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little tired, but in here I have issues with my knees. And some other things going on which and fibromyalgia, and I have not experienced any of those things since being on. Now, when I did go down to the 2.5 for that 2 weeks, I started feeling those pains again that quickly. Okay, so I have hope that it's going to get better for you. There are other people that dealt with chronic pain, Margie, that they said that it has improved being on this medication. So I'm sending you all the positive vibes that's the case for you too. And thank you for being here. Vanessa, I love this. Taisha works hard to uplift. I try. I try. I really do. I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling down. Dee Dee says her dad and brother say, and my mommy and my poppy, my sisters, like all of us, we kind of all followed in their footsteps. Except I ended up getting medically retired, and I have a sister that she's a lifer, and she's getting close. She's getting close. So, hey, Nicole's the same. Grandpa and uncles. Teresa, that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Um, as far as why some people experience and others don't. I would ask, how was it before? Like before starting the medication, were you somebody that was super regular or did you struggle? Because prior to this medication, and I'm sure it had to do with the way that I was eating and how much and just the type of things I was eating, it would go from one extreme to the next. Um, so yeah. My doctor told me I was too young for it, but write a script if I want one. Huh. Yeah, let me scroll up. What am I? Too young for hold on. Hmm. Is it too young for let's see. I'm sure somebody already got you. An army brat. Yeah, I was too. All right, another military family here. Dad's uncle's grandpa. My hubby's a civilian but works on a base. Yep, and that's how my daughter is. The one I told you guys about the Dupixent. She is working on an Air Force base as well. Yeah, you're too young. Oh, so okay, you're talking about the DEXA. That's a different one. Okay, so we have that up, and that's just the DXA. Yes, bone density. So yeah, you don't want to ask for that one. And Dee Dee, I wonder if that's what your doctor was thinking when you asked for the DEXA scan. Maybe she thought you were talking about the one that's specifically for the bone density. Guys, we made it to the end. We made it to the end. I want to say thank you. I hope that this was helpful. Um, I told you this is like the best part of my week. And I want to say that I thank you for spending this time with me. And I'm just trying to close out this one little window that's up, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave you with this. We can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Have a great week. I will see the members on a Thursday live stream, and everyone else, I will see you next Monday. Bye.